Let's flip the script on overreacting. It's not a sign of weakness, but a signal from your mind and body that something deeper needs attention. When we hear weakness, it often sparks guilt or shame. But here's the truth. Overreacting stems from unmet needs or unresolved patterns, things you can understand and change. Overreacting isn't random. It has roots, and understanding those roots is the first step to managing it. Overreactions often mask deeper emotions like fear, insecurity, or frustration. It's like an iceberg. What you see on the surface is just a fraction of the full picture. Triggers stem from past experiences or unmet expectations. For instance, if you've ever felt dismissed, you may overreact when someone seems to ignore you. Recognizing patterns helps break the cycle. Once you identify recurring situations where you overreact, you can start understanding and addressing the underlying issues. Let's break down what fuels overreactions. They typically come from two sources: internal and external triggers. Internal triggers come from within, your emotions, mindset, or past experiences. External triggers, on the other hand, are things that happen to you or around you. Unresolved past experiences can create emotional landmines where seemingly small things trigger big reactions. Stress or fatigue amplifies sensitivity. When you're worn out, it's harder to stay calm. Perfectionist tendencies make even minor mistakes feel like massive failures, driving over-the-top reactions. Conflict or criticism can feel like personal attacks, even when they're not meant that way. Unexpected challenges disrupt your sense of control, sparking frustration or panic. Feeling ignored or unappreciated taps into a deep need for connection and recognition. Overreacting often follows a predictable cycle, and spotting the patterns is key to breaking free. A trigger sets off a strong emotional response, like anger or anxiety, often before you even realize it. The response escalates when you feel out of control, leading to behaviors like shouting, withdrawing, or overthinking. Regret or guilt usually follows the outburst, leaving you feeling worse and more sensitive to future triggers. Unresolved emotions from the past fuel the cycle, making each trigger hit harder than the last. The first step to breaking the cycle of overreacting is awareness. It's about pausing, reflecting, and choosing a different path. Pause and identify the trigger. When you feel emotions bubbling up, take a moment to pinpoint what's setting you off. Is it the situation or something deeper? Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Instead of labeling your feelings as good or bad, simply observe them. This can instantly reduce their intensity. Shift your response with conscious action. Take a deep breath, count to 10, or step away to gather your thoughts before reacting. What do you think is the most important first step to managing overreactions? Let's test your understanding. Suppressing emotions might seem like a quick fix, but it often leads to bigger outbursts later. Blaming the situation doesn't help because it takes away your control over how you respond. Pausing to recognize the trigger is the key. It allows you to understand what's happening and respond mindfully. Ignoring your feelings until they pass might sound easier, but it leaves the root cause unresolved. The correct answer is pausing to recognize the trigger. This simple step helps you regain control and choose how you want to respond instead of reacting impulsively. Managing overreactions requires both quick fixes in the moment and consistent habits over time. Let's break it down. On the left, we'll cover strategies to calm yourself immediately during an emotional spike. On the right, we'll explore long-term habits to strengthen your emotional resilience. Slow, deep breaths calm your nervous system and help you regain focus. Grounding techniques, like noticing what you can see, hear, or touch, anchor you in the present moment. A calming mantra like, "This too shall pass," can help interrupt emotional spirals. Daily mindfulness trains your brain to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. Sleep and exercise are critical for emotional balance. A well-rested and active body supports a calmer mind. Journaling helps you process emotions and uncover patterns behind your reactions. Reframing is a powerful tool to manage emotions and reduce overreactions. It's all about seeing the same situation through a new lens. Recognize that emotions are temporary. Even the strongest feelings fade with time. Ask, "What's the bigger picture here?" This helps you step back from the moment and see things more clearly. Focus on what you can control. Trying to change things outside your influence only adds stress. Turn setbacks into opportunities to learn. Every challenge is a chance to grow and strengthen your emotional resilience. Self-compassion isn't just about being kind to yourself, it's a game changer for managing emotions. Acknowledge your emotions without shame. It's okay to feel upset, frustrated, or angry. Accepting these feelings is the first step to understanding them. Treat yourself like a friend, not a critic. Imagine what you'd say to a friend in your situation and offer yourself the same kindness. Recognize that everyone struggles with emotions. You're not alone, and it's perfectly normal to feel overwhelmed sometimes. What do you think is the most important aspect of self-compassion? Let's explore. Criticizing yourself only deepens emotional wounds and makes it harder to recover. Ignoring emotions may seem easier in the short term, but it prevents true growth and healing. Acknowledging emotions without judgment is key. It helps you process feelings and move forward without unnecessary guilt. Comparing struggles often invalidates your own experiences. Focus on your personal journey instead. The correct answer is acknowledging emotions without judgment. This step builds the foundation for self-understanding and growth.